One day, when the prince was standing behind a tree, the witch came to the tower. He heard her say, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Immediately, a long thick plait of golden hair fell down to the ground. The prince watched, amazed, as the witch climbed up the tower and in at the window. The next day, at twilight, the prince stood by the foot of the tower and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." Immediately, the plait of hair came tumbling down, and the prince climbed up. Rapunzel was surprised and rather afraid when she found that a man had climbed up to her room in the tower. As for the prince, when he saw the beauty of Rapunzel, he was overjoyed. He talked kindly to her, and she soon lost her fear. He told her how for many months he had stood outside the tower every day, listening to her sweet singing. So, for many months, the prince visited Rapunzel every evening, and they grew to love each other. After a while, the prince asked her to marry him, and they talked of how Rapunzel could get out of the tower. At last Rapunzel thought of a plan. "Every evening when you come to see me," she said to the prince, "bring a skein of silk. I shall weave the silk into the ladder. When it's longer enough to reach the ground, I shall come down. Then you can carry me away on your horse." They agreed on this plan. Every night the prince brought a fresh skein of silk, and every day Rapunzel wove a little more of the ladder. During all this time, the witch knew nothing of the prince's visit to Rapunzel. Then one day, after the witch had climbed up the tower by the plait of hair, Rapunzel spoke without thinking. "How is it, good mother," she asked, "that you feel so much heavier than the prince?" "Oh, you wicked child," cried the witch. "I thought that I had separated you from all the world, but now I find that you have deceived me." In her anger, the witch seized a pair of scissors and cut off Rapunzel's beautiful hair. She then took the poor girl away to a desert and left her weeping. That same night, the witch returned to the tower, and the prince arrived and cried, "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your hair." The witch fastened Rapunzel's plait to a hook and threw it out of the window. The prince climbed up and found himself face to face, not with his beautiful Rapunzel, but with angry witch. "Ah!" cried the witch, mocking him, "you have come to find your lady love, but she is gone, and you will never see her again." The prince thought that Rapunzel was dead. In his sorrow, he jumped from the high window of the tower and fell to the ground. He was not killed, but his eyes were scratched by the thorns among which he fell. For some years the poor blind prince wandered sadly through the forest. His only food was the roots and berries he found there. He did not care about anything. His only thought was that he had lost his dear Rapunzel. At last he came to the desert where Rapunzel lived in sorrow. In the distance he heard her singing, and he knew her voice at once. The blind prince stumbled towards the voice he loved. As soon as she saw him, Rapunzel knew that this poor man in rags was her prince. She ran into his arms. She was so glad to see him, and so sad to find him blind, that her tears fell quickly. 2 large teardrops fell upon his eyes. Immediately he could see as well as ever he had done. How happy Rapunzel and the prince were to be together again. It did not matter to them that they were in rags. They forgot the sad years behind them. Hand in hand, they their way happily through the forest to the prince's kingdom. There they were married and lived happily ever after.